The huge silver ship landed in the middle of Seoul's Olympic Stadium on a warm spring day. People from all over the world watched on screens as the ship's door opened slowly. Captain Do-hyun Kim stood at attention, his back straight and his face calm. Inside, his heart beat fast. "Stay alert," he whispered to his team. They were the first line of defense if these aliens turned out to be dangerous. From the ship came tall beings with pale blue skin. They walked with grace that seemed almost unnatural. Their leader stepped forward and spoke in perfect Korean. "We are the Allians. We come in peace and friendship." That was 3 months ago. Now, Do-hyun sat in a meeting room at the United Nations building in New York, watching as Dr. Jia Park showed pictures of alien technology on the big screen. "Their space drives are at least 200 years ahead of ours," Jia said. She was small but spoke with confidence. Her dark eyes shone with excitement. "But what's most interesting is their soldiers." The screen showed a creature that looked almost human but had scales on parts of its skin. Its eyes were yellow with thin black lines down the middle, like a snake's eyes. "They call them war cobras," Jia continued. "The Allians say they made these soldiers in labs using advanced science. They are stronger, faster, and heal quicker than any human." "Are they a threat to us?" Do-hyun asked. The alien representative, Nexer, smiled. His teeth were very white against his blue skin. "War cobras protect our people from dangers in space," Nexer said. "We have many enemies. You will too, now that you join the wider universe. We offer to share some of our technology as a sign of friendship." Later, Do-hyun and Jia walked through Central Park. The fall leaves crunched under their feet. "Do you trust them?" Do-hyun asked. Jia thought for a moment. They shared medical technology that has already cured 3 kinds of cancer. Their energy systems could solve our climate problems. She paused. "But they are very interested in our DNA. They ask for too many human samples. I noticed they don't let us see inside their ships anymore," Do-hyun said. "The first month, they gave tours. Now they have excuses." "The war cobras worry me," Jia admitted. "Why would peaceful explorers need such powerful soldiers? And have you noticed we never see more than 5 or 6 Allians at once?" Do-hyun nodded. "My team counted only 20 different Allians in all our meetings. They could be a small research group or they're hiding their real numbers," Jia finished. That night, Do-hyun couldn't sleep in his hotel room. He stood by the window, looking at the city lights. His phone rang. "Captain Kim. This is General Song. Come to the command center immediately. Don't tell anyone." An hour later, Do-hyun stared at the satellite images on the screen. Hidden on the far side of the moon were hundreds of alien ships. "They arrived last night," General Song said. "Our new moon base spotted them. The Allians don't know we can see them." "We need to tell the world leaders," Do-hyun said. "We're meeting in 1 hour," the general replied. "We're also bringing in key scientists." He looked at a list. "Can you get Dr. Jia Park here? She knows more about the Allians than almost anyone." As Do-hyun left to find Jia, alarms began to sound throughout the building. A soldier ran in, his face pale. "Sir, Allian ships are appearing over major cities worldwide. Hundreds of them." On the screens, they watched as the bottom of each ship opened. From them dropped hundreds of scaled figures. The war cobras moved with frightening speed as they landed. The invasion had begun. Do-hyun ran faster. He had to find Jia. Something told him that understanding the Allians, and especially their war cobras, might be humanity's only hope. Do-hyun ran through the chaotic streets of New York. Buildings burned around him. The sound of screams mixed with strange weapons fire. Above, alien ships moved across the sky like dark clouds. "Jia." He called into his phone again. "Where are you?" "I'm at the lab." Her voice crackled through static. "The Allians are attacking it. They want our research. Stay hidden. I'm coming," Do-hyun said. He turned a corner and froze. 3 war cobras stood in the street. Up close, They were even more frightening. They stood taller than humans, with rippling muscles under scaled skin. Their yellow eyes moved independently, scanning in all directions. Each carried a weapon that glowed with blue energy. Do-hyun pressed himself against a wall. The Cobras moved with perfect coordination, like they shared one mind. They checked each building, dragging out crying people. "These are not suitable," one Cobra said in a flat voice. "Continue the search." Do-hyun waited until they moved on, then ran toward the research center. The world had changed in just 6 hours. The Allians had attacked every major city at once. Earth's military fought back, but their weapons did little against alien ships. The war Cobras were worse. Regular bullets barely hurt them. They healed within minutes from wounds that would kill humans. And they were smart, using advanced tactics no human army had seen before. Do-hyun reached the research building and slipped in through a broken window. The inside was dark and quiet. Too quiet. "Jia," he whispered. Something moved in the corner. Do-hyun raised his gun, then lowered it when Jia stepped out from behind a desk. "Thank goodness," she said. "Most of my team is dead." "We need to leave the city," Do-hyun said. "Not yet," Jia insisted. "I downloaded all our research on the Allians, and I took something else." She held up a small container with blue liquid inside. "This is war Cobra blood. I was studying it when they attacked." "Why do they want your research?" Do-hyun asked. "I think I know why they invaded," Jia said. "It's us, humans. There's something in our DNA they fear, something they want." A loud crash came from downstairs. The building shook. "They're here," Jia whispered. Do-hyun led her to a back stairway. They climbed to the roof just as war Cobras broke into the lab below. On the roof, they could see the city burning. Alien ships moved methodically, block by block. "How do we get out?" Jia asked. Do-hyun pointed to a small military helicopter on a landing pad 2 buildings away. "Can you make that jump?" They leaped across narrow gaps between buildings, the sounds of destruction all around them. When they reached the helicopter, Do-hyun checked it quickly. "It still works," he said. "Get in." As the helicopter lifted off, a war Cobra burst onto the roof. It fired its weapon, hitting the helicopter's tail. The aircraft spun wildly. "Hold on," Do-hyun shouted. He fought the controls as they spiraled away from the city. "Where are we going?" Jia asked, clutching her laptop and the container of blood. "South Korea," Do-hyun said. "My hometown. If anywhere is safe, it might be there. It's mountainous, with caves and places to hide." The damaged helicopter limped across the ocean. They stopped twice on ships to refuel. Everywhere was the same story. Alliance attacking. War Cobras hunting humans. 3 days later, they finally reached the Korean peninsula. The helicopter was barely flying now. Smoke rose from Seoul in the distance. "We can't make it to the city," Do-hyun said. "We'll land in the mountains." As they descended toward a small valley, Jia pointed at something on the ground. "Look. People." A small group of survivors waved at them from a clearing. As the helicopter touched down, Do-hyun recognized 2 of them. Han-Sol from communications, and Yeonji, a military medic. "Captain Kim," Han-Sol called. "You're alive." "Not for long if we stay in the open," Do-hyun replied. "The war Cobras will find us." Yeonji stepped forward. "We know a place to hide. There are caves in these mountains, deep caves where they won't find us." Do-hyun looked at Jia. She nodded, clutching her precious research. "Lead the way," he said. None of them knew that in those caves, they would find something that would change everything. The small group moved deeper into the mountain caves. Do-hyun led the way with a flashlight. The air grew cooler as they walked farther from the entrance. "How did you find these caves?" Jia asked Eunji. "My grandfather told stories about them," Yeonji said. She was short with strong hands and practical eyes. He said our ancestors used these caves during wars. He called them the sleeping dragon's home. Hansol checked a small device in his hand. No signals can reach us this deep. The Allians can't track us here. They had been walking for nearly an hour when the narrow tunnel suddenly opened into a large cave. Du Hyun's flashlight couldn't reach the far walls. "This place is huge," he whispered. Hansol set up portable lights. As the cave brightened, they gasped. The walls weren't rough stone as expected. They were smooth and had strange symbols carved into them. "These aren't natural," Jia said, touching the symbols. "Someone made these." "Look at this," called one of the other survivors, a young man named Sung. He pointed to a dark opening in the far wall. It wasn't rough like a natural cave entrance. It was a perfect arch with more symbols around it. "Should we go in?" Yunji asked. Do Hyun checked his gun. "Stay behind me." The passage beyond the arch was different. The floor was flat and smooth. The walls had lines that gave off a soft blue light. "This is technology," Jia said in wonder, "but not like anything I've seen before." The passage ended at a round metal door. It had no handle or keypad, just a handprint outline in the center. "It needs a hand to open," Hansol said. Do Hyun stepped forward and placed his palm on the outline. Nothing happened. Jia tried next, then Yunji and Hansol. Still nothing. "Maybe it only works for certain people," Jia suggested. Some tried last. To everyone's surprise, the door made a soft humming sound. Lights around the edge turned from blue to green. The heavy door slid open. Cold air rushed out. The room beyond was filled with blue light. As they stepped inside, they froze in amazement. The chamber was massive and round. In the center was a raised platform with control panels. But what lined the walls made them stare in shock. There were people, dozens of people. Each stood in a clear crystal case. They didn't move. They appeared to be sleeping. "Are they dead?" Yunji whispered. Jia walked closer to one case. Inside was a man who looked mostly human, but he had slight differences. His body was more muscular, his fingers longer. And there, along his neck and arms, were faint patterns that looked like scales. "They're not dead," Jia said, checking a display on the case. "They're in some kind of sleep. They've been here for. This can't be right." "What is it?" Do Hyun asked. "According to this, they've been asleep for over 10,000 years." The group moved through the chamber, looking at each crystal case. The sleeping people were similar but not identical. Some were male, some female. All had the scale-like patterns on their skin. Hansol found a console that still worked. Symbols flashed across its screen. "I can't read this language," he said. Jia joined him. "It's not any modern language, but some symbols look like very ancient Korean." She pointed to one repeating pattern. "This might mean guardian or protector." Do Hyun looked closer at one of the sleeping figures. "They look like us, but also," he hesitated. "They look a little like the war Cobras," Yunji finished, "but more human." Jia's eyes widened as realization hit her. That's it. The Allians created their war Cobras in labs. But these beings, they might be our own version. Natural human evolution with reptilian traits. "Our own war Cobras?" Hansol asked. "No," Jia said, touching the crystal case gently. "Our guardians, and they've been waiting here for thousands of years." Suddenly, lights began flashing around the chamber. The crystal case Jia touched hummed loudly. Inside, the man's eyes opened. Everyone stepped back as the crystal case began to glow brighter. Do Hyun pulled Jia away. "Be careful," he warned. "We don't know who or what these beings are." The front of the case slid open. Cold mist poured out. The man inside didn't move for several seconds. Then he took a deep breath and opened his eyes fully. His eyes were dark brown with flecks of gold. They looked human except for pupils that changed shape as they adjusted to the light. He stepped out of the case slowly. He was tall, with strong muscles. The scale-like patterns on his skin shimmered slightly. He wore a simple gray uniform with symbols that matched those on the walls. The man looked at each person in turn. When he spoke, his voice was deep and clear. "I am Ta. Who awakened me?" No one answered at first, too shocked that he spoke a language they could understand. Finally, Jia stepped forward. I think I did. I touched your case." Ta looked at her closely. Then he did something unexpected. He reached out and gently touched Jia's forehead with his fingertips. Jia gasped. Her eyes widened. "What are you doing to her?" Du Hyun demanded, raising his gun. Tad removed his hand. "I was learning. Connecting minds. It does not hurt." Jia blinked several times. "It's okay, Du Hyun. It was strange but not painful. He took information from my mind about our time, our world. And I shared some of mine," Ta said. "You are my people, but changed. Many generations have passed." "What are you?" Hansol asked. "I am a guardian," Tae replied. "Created to protect humanity." "Created?" Du Hyun asked. "Like the war Cobras? In a lab?" Tai tilted his head, confused. Then understanding seemed to dawn on his face. "Ah, I see in Joe's mind. These war Cobras are artificial beings made by the aliens attacking Earth." He shook his head. "No, we were not made in labs. We were born naturally, then enhanced. We are fully human, but with awakened abilities that sleep in all human DNA." "How is that possible?" Yunji asked. "Humans once had many abilities that were lost over time," Tai explained. "My people focused on keeping these traits alive. The scales you see are natural armor that humans once had, long ago. The mind linking was also once common." He walked around the chamber, looking at the other sleeping figures. "We are the guardians. When the great disaster came, we could not stop it. Our civilization fell. The few who remained put us to sleep, to wait until we were needed again." "What disaster?" Du Hyun asked. "A great war," Ta said sadly. "Then ice covered much of the world. The few humans who survived returned to simpler ways." Jia approached another crystal case. Inside was a woman who looked similar to Ta. "Can we wake the others?" she asked. Ta nodded. "This one is my sister, Sian. She is a healer." He touched a panel on the case. It began to glow like his hat. "What about this one?" Du Hyun pointed to a larger case at the far end of the chamber. "That is Jin," Ta said. "Our commander. A great warrior." As they spoke, Sian's case opened. She stepped out, looking confused until she saw Ta. They spoke quickly in a language no one understood. Then Sian turned to the group and smiled. "Hello," she said. "Ta has shared what he learned from Jia. Your world is in danger. Can you help us fight the Allians?" Du Hyun asked. Xian looked at Ta. "We must wake Jin and the others first. Then we will help you fight." Jia walked to a large control panel in the center of the room. "How do we wake everyone?" Ta placed his hand on the panel. It lit up with symbols and diagrams. "It will take time," he said. "Each guardian must wake slowly or risk damage." Suddenly, a distant boom echoed through the caves. Dust fell from the ceiling. Hansol checked his device. "Something's happening outside. The Allians might have found us." Do Hyun looked at Ta. "We don't have much time." Ta nodded grimly. "Then we must hurry. Wake Jin first. If the Allians are here, we will need our best warrior." He pressed a sequence on the panel. Jin's case began to glow. Jin's crystal case opened with a hiss. The man inside was larger than Tai, with broad shoulders and a face marked with faint scale patterns. He stepped out and immediately looked alert, unlike the others who needed time to adjust. "Report," he said to Tai in their language. Tai placed his hand on Jin's forehead, sharing information quickly. Jin's eyes widened. He turned to face the humans. "Earth is under attack," he said in perfect Korean. "The enemy uses biological weapons they call war cobras." Another boom shook the cave. Closer this time. "How many guardians can we wake now?" Jin asked. Tai checked the control panel. 15 are ready for immediate awakening. The others need more time. "Wake those 15, Jin ordered. He turned to Do-hyun. "You are a warrior of this time. Tell me about these war cobras." As Tai worked on waking the others, Do-hyun explained what they knew about the Allian soldiers. "They're stronger and faster than normal humans. They can heal quickly from wounds. They seem to work together like one mind." Jin nodded. "And what weapons do you have?" Do-hyun showed him his gun. Jin examined it with interest. "Simple but effective," he said. "We will need more." Meanwhile, Jia was speaking with Sean. "Can you tell me more about your abilities? How are you different from us?" Sean smiled. "We are not so different. All humans have the same basic DNA. We just use more of what is already there." She held out her arm, and the scale-like patterns became more pronounced. "This is natural armor. It can stop many weapons. What else can you do?" Yunji asked, fascinated. "We can heal quickly," Sean said. "We are stronger and faster than you. We can link minds for better communication. And we have something special called battle trance." "Battle trance?" Do-hyun asked, overhearing. Jin stepped forward. "It is our greatest advantage. In battle trance, our conscious mind joins with our primitive brain. We become perfect fighting machines while keeping human thinking." "Like the war cobras," Jia said. "No," Jin corrected. "The war cobras are made to follow orders perfectly. We make our own choices. That is our strength." As they talked, more guardians awakened. Each one was similar but unique. Some had more pronounced scales, others had golden eyes or unusual height. Han-Sol looked at his device again. "Something's definitely coming. Multiple signals moving this way." Jin gathered everyone in the center of the chamber. "We need weapons and a plan." From a hidden compartment in the wall, he took out strange metal objects. When he pressed a button, one extended into a staff with a glowing end. "Energy weapons," Jin explained. "Still working after all this time." He handed them to the awakened guardians, who handled them with practiced ease. "What about us?" Do-hyun asked. Jin gave him a smaller version of the weapon. "This can disable a war cobra. Aim for the eyes or throat." Jia had been examining the control center with Sean. "Look at this," she said. "These panels show tunnel systems throughout the mountains. There are other chambers like this one." "The entire mountain is a base," Sean confirmed, "with weapons, supplies, and more guardians." Another explosion, much closer. Dust and small rocks fell from the ceiling. "We need to move," Jin decided. "We'll take a hidden tunnel to another chamber, wake more guardians." "But the Allians will find this place," Han-Sol said. Jin smiled grimly. His teeth were slightly pointed. "Good. Let them come. They will meet their first guardians and learn that Earth is not defenseless." "Can 15 of you fight war cobras?" Do-hyun asked doubtfully. "Watch," Jin said. He closed his eyes for a moment. When he opened them, they had changed. The pupils were slits, and the irises glowed with golden light. The scales on his skin became more pronounced, almost shimmering with energy. "This is battle trance," he said, his voice deeper. "One guardian in battle trance can fight 5 war cobras. We are what you would have become if evolution had continued on its path. We are humanity's true potential." The other guardians' eyes changed too, entering battle trance together. They looked powerful and dangerous, but still human. Now Jin said, "Let's show these Allians the humans have their own cobras." 1 month had passed since they found the guardians. Deep in the mountain complex, Do-hyun stood facing Jin in a large training room. Both men held metal staffs. Do-hyun's arms ached from hours of practice. "Again," Jin said. "Faster this time." Do-hyun attacked with the staff, moving as quickly as he could. Jin blocked every strike easily, his movements like flowing water. "Better," Jin said. "Your body is remembering what your ancestors knew." Nearby, 20 human survivors trained with other guardians. They had found more people hiding in the mountains and brought them to safety. Now, each day was spent learning to fight. "I'll never be as fast as you," Do-hyun said, catching his breath. "No," Jin agreed, "but you don't need to be. War Cobras are predictable. They follow patterns. You can use that against them." In another room, Jia worked with Seon and 3 other scientists. They studied the blood sample Jia had taken from New York. On screens around them were diagrams of DNA. "The Allians changed so much," Jia said, pointing to the War Cobra DNA. "They added parts from many different animals." "That's why they're unstable," Seon replied. "The changes fight against each other. Our changes work with nature, not against it." Seon held up her hand. The scales appeared then disappeared as she controlled them. "We can turn our abilities on and off. War Cobras cannot." In the communications center, Han Sol had created something amazing. Using Guardian technology combined with human radio systems, he had built a network that connected with resistance groups worldwide. "We found another Guardian chamber in Europe," he told Do-hyun during a break from training. "And one in Africa. People are waking Guardians all over the world." "How many?" Do-hyun asked. "Nearly 500 now," Han Sol said. "But the Allians have thousands of War Cobras." "Quality over quantity," Jin said, joining them. "And we have something else. Tomorrow, we strike back." That night, the humans and Guardians gathered in the main hall. Jin stood before them with a map showing a large alien base near what was once Seoul. "This is where they process humans," Jin said grimly. "They take people here to study their DNA. We will attack at dawn." "There will be many War Cobras," one woman in the crowd said, fear in her voice. Jin nodded to Ta, who stepped forward. "Today, we will show you something important." Ta looked at Do-hyun. "Come here." Do-hyun joined him in front of the group. "All humans have Guardian abilities sleeping inside them," Ta said. "Through a deep mind link, we can awaken some of these abilities temporarily." He placed both hands on Do-hyun's temples. "Trust me," he whispered. At first, nothing happened. Then Do-hyun felt heat spreading through his body. His skin tingled. His vision sharpened until he could see tiny cracks in the wall across the room. Sounds became clearer. He felt stronger, more alert. When Tae removed his hands, everyone gasped. Faint scale patterns had appeared on Do-hyun's neck and arms. "This is only temporary," Tae explained, "but it will help in tomorrow's battle." Do-hyun looked at his arms in wonder. "I feel different." "You feel like your ancestors did," Jin said. "This is how humans were meant to be." Later, as they prepared weapons for the attack, Jia found Do-hyun alone. "Are you afraid?" she asked. "Yes," he admitted, "but also excited. For the first time, I think we might win this war." Jia touched the faint scales on his arm. "Cheon told me something interesting. The Allians invaded Earth because they fear us." "Why would they fear humans?" Do-hyun asked. "Not just humans," Jia said. "Human potential. They saw in our DNA the ability to become like the Guardians naturally. That terrified them because it's something they can't control or create in a lab." Dawn was approaching. Throughout the mountain complex, humans and Guardians prepared for battle. They were few against many, but they had something the Allians and their War Cobras did not. They had evolved naturally, in harmony with their true nature. And tomorrow, the Allians would learn what that meant. The sun was just rising when the attack began. Do-hyun led a team of 5 humans and 3 Guardians through the forest toward the Allian base. The temporary awakening still hummed in his blood. He could hear small animals moving far away and smell the metal of the Allian base. 2 War Cobras at the east gate," he whispered. The others nodded. They didn't need radios to communicate. The Guardians had created a light mind link between all of them. Across the base perimeter, 5 other teams moved into position. Jin led the main attack force at the north entrance. "Remember," Ta said beside Du Hyun, "War Cobras are strong but predictable. They don't adapt well to surprises." The signal came through their mind link, 3 quick pulses that meant go. Du Hyun's team rushed forward. The War Cobras saw them and raised their weapons. But before they could fire, Tai threw something small that flashed with blinding light. The War Cobras hesitated for just 2 seconds. It was enough. The Guardians moved faster than Du Hyun had ever seen. They didn't fight like humans. They twisted and turned in ways that seemed impossible. The War Cobras couldn't follow their movements. Du Hyun and his team joined the fight. His enhanced reflexes let him dodge energy blasts. He struck a War Cobra with his staff. The creature stumbled but recovered quickly. "The throat," Ta called. "Hit the throat." Do Hyun changed his aim and struck the War Cobra's throat. This time, it fell and didn't get up. Alarms sounded across the base. More War Cobras rushed toward them. "Keep moving," Du Hyun ordered. "We need to reach the labs." Their mission wasn't just to attack. They needed to find information and save any human prisoners. Inside the base, they split into 2 groups. Du Hyun, Tai, and 2 humans went toward the main lab. The others created a distraction in another area. The hallways were cold and metallic. They fought through 3 more War Cobras before reaching a sealed door. On the wall was a control panel with Allian symbols. "Can you open it?" Du Hyun asked Ta. Before Tai could answer, the door slid open. They raised their weapons, ready to fight. But instead of War Cobras, they saw a human man in a torn lab coat. His face was thin and tired, but his eyes showed hope when he saw them. "You're humans," he said. "Real humans. We're here to rescue you," Du Hyun said. "Are there others?" The man nodded. "Many. I'm Dr. Min. I was studying genetics before the invasion. They forced me to work for them, studying human DNA." Dr. Min led them deeper into the lab. There were cells along one wall. Inside each cell was a person, some sleeping, some watching with fearful eyes. "What are they doing to these people?" Tai asked. Dr. Min's face darkened. "Terrible things. They're trying to combine human DNA with War Cobra DNA. They want to make a new kind of soldier." While Du Hyun and one of the humans opened the cells, Tai and Dr. Min went to the computer systems. "Can you download their research?" Tai asked. Dr. Min nodded. "I know their systems now." His fingers moved quickly over the strange controls. One of the freed prisoners, a young woman, pointed to another door. "There are more people through there." And something else, something horrible. Do Hyun broke open the door. Inside was another lab, but this one was different. Large tubes filled with green liquid lined the walls. In each tube was a half-formed creature, part human, part War Cobra. "They're making hybrids," Dr. Min said, his voice shaking. "But they keep failing. The bodies reject the changes." Tad looked closely at the tubes. "Because they're forcing it. The body knows this is wrong." Through their mind link, Du Hyun felt Jin's signal. The main attack was successful. They needed to leave soon. "We need to destroy this place," Du Hyun said. Dr. Min moved to a central control panel. "I can overload their power systems. It will destroy everything." As they freed the last prisoners and prepared to leave, Dr. Min downloaded one final file. "This is what they fear," he said, holding up a small device. "It's their research on human DNA. They found something they call the sleeping potential. It's what let your ancestors become like him." He pointed to Tai. "And it's still inside all humans," Tai added. As they rushed from the building with the freed prisoners, explosions began behind them. The alien base collapsed in fire and smoke. Their first strike against the Allians was successful, but the war had only just begun. 3 months after the first attack, the resistance had grown stronger. The mountain base was now home to hundreds of survivors. Dr. Min worked with Jia and Xian in the main lab, studying the files they had stolen from the Allians. "Look at this," Dr. Min said, pointing to a screen showing complex DNA patterns. "The war Cobras have a weakness. Their enhanced healing requires a specific protein to work." "Can we block that protein?" Jia asked. Dr. Min smiled. "I think we can create a substance that will temporarily disable it." In the communications center, Han Sol coordinated with resistance groups worldwide. Maps on the wall showed alien strongholds marked in red. Blue marks showed where human Guardian forces had won battles. "The European group took back Paris yesterday," Han Sol told Du Hyun, "and the African team destroyed an alien ship factory." "We're making progress," Du Hyun said, "but the Allians still control most major cities." Jin joined them, studying the maps. "We need to do more than just win battles. We need to cut off their leadership." "How?" Du Hyun asked. "Their main command ship," Jin said. "It stays in orbit above Earth. If we could reach it." "Impossible," Han Sol said. "We don't have spacecraft that can reach it." "Not yet," Jin replied with a smile. "But we found something that might help." That afternoon, Jin led Du Hyun and Jia to a new part of the mountain complex. They took an elevator deep underground to a massive hangar. Inside was a sleek silver ship, unlike any human aircraft. "This was built by our civilization," Jin explained. "It can reach orbit and beyond." "Does it still work?" Jia asked in wonder. "We're restoring it," Jin said, "with parts from alien ships we've captured." In the training areas, something new was happening. The Guardians had started teaching humans to access small parts of their dormant abilities without the deep mind link. Yunji, who had become a leader among the human fighters, demonstrated for a group of new recruits. She sat in perfect stillness, eyes closed. When she opened them, her pupils had changed slightly, becoming more like a Guardian's. "It's not full battle trance," she explained, "but it improves reflexes and strength. All humans can learn this with practice." That evening, Jia worked late in the lab with Dr. Min. They had created a spray that might disable war Cobra healing. "We need to test it," Dr. Min said. "The next mission," Jia replied. "We'll give it to the attack teams." As they worked, Du Hyun and Jin planned their biggest mission yet. They would attack 5 alien bases at once, using all their forces. "While they're distracted by these attacks," Jin said, "a small team will infiltrate their communication tower in Seoul. If we can hack their systems, we'll learn their plans." "Who will lead that team?" Du Hyun asked. "You will," Jin replied. "You've become our best fighter among the humans." Later that night, Du Hyun found Jia on the observation deck, a small platform high in the mountain with a view of the stars. "Are you worried about tomorrow?" she asked. "Yes," he admitted, "but also hopeful. Dr. Min's spray could change everything." "It's more than the spray," Jia said. "It's what we've learned from the Guardians. The Allians thought they could beat us with technology and genetic engineering, but they didn't understand human spirit." Du Hyun looked at his hands. The temporary scales from his first enhancement were long gone, but he had learned to access some Guardian abilities on his own now. "Jin told me something interesting today," he said. "The Guardians believe that all humans would have evolved like them naturally, given enough time. The Allians aren't just fighting us. They're fighting human potential." The next morning, attack teams gathered at the base exits. Each carried new weapons based on Guardian technology. The fighters who would attack the communication tower carried Dr. Min's spray in small canisters. "Remember," Jin told them, "war Cobras are strong but inflexible. They don't adapt well to new situations. Use that against them." As they prepared to leave, news came in from other resistance groups. Attacks were beginning worldwide. For the first time since the invasion, Humans were taking back their planet. The tide of war was turning. The ancient Guardian ship rose into the night sky, its engines glowing blue against the darkness. Inside, Du-hyun sat beside Jin at the control panel. Jia, Ta, and 4 other fighters completed the small team. The diversion attacks have begun. Han Sol's voice came through their communication system. All alien forces are responding. The path to their command ship should be clear. Below them, battles raged across Earth. Humans and Guardians fought together against War Cobras. Dr. Min's spray worked perfectly, disabling the War Cobra's healing ability. For the first time, the Allians were losing badly. "We're approaching their ship," Jin said as they left Earth's atmosphere. "Prepare yourselves." Do-hyun touched the small device on his temple. It was Sion's newest creation, a mind amplifier that would let Jin connect deeply with all of them at once. "Remember," Jin told them, "once we're aboard, we need to reach their central control room. That's where we'll find their leaders." The Guardian ship approached the massive alien command vessel. It was shaped like a dark star with 5 points, each housing different systems. At its center was the command hub. "They've spotted us," Ta warned as alarms sounded. Jin activated a cloaking system. The ship vanished from alien sensors, allowing them to dock at a maintenance entrance. They entered the alien ship through a small airlock. Inside, they moved quickly through dark hallways. When War Cobras appeared, they fought with perfect coordination. Jin's mind link let them act as one unit. Do-hyun had never felt so connected to others. He could sense Jo's determination, Ta's focused calm, and Jin's strategic mind. Together, they moved deeper into the ship. In a large chamber filled with strange equipment, they found something unexpected. Tanks lined the walls, each containing the sleeping alien. These looked different from the ones they had met, more natural, less artificially enhanced. "These are pure Allians," Jia realized. "The ones we've been fighting are enhanced, just like their War Cobras. They modify themselves too," Ta said. "They fear natural evolution so much. They try to control everything." More War Cobras attacked. As they fought, Do-hyun noticed the Cobras were different here, more aggressive but less coordinated. "They're prototypes," Jin said through the mind link. "Newer versions they're still testing." After defeating these new War Cobras, they'd reached the central command hub. Inside were 3 Allians. They looked older, their blue skin paler. They watched the intruders with cold eyes. "Humans," one said, "with Guardians. We thought your kind was extinct." "You tried to make us extinct," Jin replied. "Why?" The lead alien stood taller. "Because you represent chaos. Natural evolution is unpredictable, dangerous. We believe in controlled progress, designed perfection." "You fear what you can't control," Jia said. "With good reason," the alien replied. "Your DNA has potential we cannot match. Given time, all humans could become like the Guardians. That future terrifies us." Do-hyun stepped forward. "The future is not yours to control." The alien reached for a weapon, but froze when Jin raised his hand. The Guardian's eyes glowed gold as he entered deep battle trance. "This ends now," Jin said. "Call off your forces or we destroy this ship and everyone on it." A tense moment passed. Then the alien lowered his hand and pressed a control panel. On screens around the room, they saw War Cobras everywhere suddenly stop fighting. "We yield," the alien said. "This planet is yours." 3 days later, Do-hyun stood with Ja on a hilltop, watching alien ships leave Earth's atmosphere. The invasion was over. The Allians had agreed to a peace treaty, promising never to return. "What happens now?" Jia asked. "We rebuild," Do-hyun said, "and we learn from the Guardians." Nearby, children played with a young Guardian, learning simple mind-linking games. Adults practiced with Ta, accessing abilities that had slept inside humans for thousands of years. "Jin says we won't all become full Guardians," Du Hyun said, but we can recover some of what humanity lost. A new evolution, Jia said, smiling. Natural, not forced. As the last alien ship disappeared from view, Du Hyun reflected on how much had changed. The aliens had created their perfect soldiers in labs, thinking that was strength. But humans had found their protectors sleeping in caves, a reminder that true power comes from within, from the natural potential that lives in all people. Humanity would never be the same, and that was a good thing.